Going out of here, we are looking at the balance sheet transaction. Probably most of you are familiar with the Enron case where the CEO clearly stated, I never looked at the balance sheets. With the Biolog technology, we could clearly prove when he looked at the balance sheet where and that it was for a fact him. If you look at this here, you see that the identified user is Amanda. We did not see Amanda put her finger on the sensor, and the reason for this is that this transaction is only protected with a smart card. We are compatible with all the different smart cards from the US government, as seen in the right bottom corner. There are GEM Plus, there are Schlumbergers, and we are compatible with those. So anything that we can protect either with a smart card, with biometrics, or even with a combination offering you ultimate dual-factor authentication. We now have put the card back into the reader, and I will show that even the card is in the system. Somebody could sneak up to that computer and request to look at the financial statements, but as soon as this person executes, you see the sensor is coming up again, and in this case Thomas will put the finger on the sensor on Amanda's computer, and he will not have access because only Amanda, in combination with her smart card, will be able to execute this transaction. So I am going back in there real quick to show you or prove to you that Amanda, in fact, will be able to verify on her computer in addition to the smart card and be able to display the financial statement. So once I hit execute here, we see the fingerprint window coming up. I put my finger on the sensor, and which, by the way, you see is the ring finger in the right bottom corner, and now it will display us or attempt to display the balance sheet. I don't have data here in the system. As a last, before we go into some of the functionalities of Biolog, I would like to show you how we can post a document or monies for an outgoing wire transfer. I am going in here, entering some data, and since we are in a European system, we enter euro instead of US dollars. I am entering an account, and now I will be able to post $5,000 or $5,500 today into the system. And when I go back, you will see that here is our 5,500 euro ready to go out for the wire transfer. I am adding more money to the same account, and this time we will post $1,700 or 17,000, my apology. We do this at the same date, and you see, as soon as I hit enter, again, here's our window. I put my finger on the sensor, and just after the verification with biometrics, these monies are posted to the account. So we have set a threshold here of 10,000 euro, and if the amount is over that predefined threshold, biometrics is required in order to do the wire transfer. Now we're going into the Biolog administration, and the first thing we will learn here is, of course, our Biolog administration is protected with biometrics, but we have established here what is called a dual confirmation group. You just saw Thomas putting the finger on the sensor, and since the Biolog administration is protected with the dual confirmation group, this screen will pop up and will request that Thomas gets a second authorized person, in this case April, to continue his request. Now you see that April is actually putting her finger on the sensor, and now after the successful verification of April, we have access to the biolog transaction. So basically we have two signatures on a check anywhere within the SAP workflow. First thing in the biolog administration we would like to point out is the balance sheet. The log file. The log file would show us very clearly everything that we have done here in the SAP system. The first thing, we logged onto the SAP system and I told you what my password was, and I had to verify with my finger Thomas was recognized. Then Thomas also executed the purchase order transaction, and after that we went straight into the HR info type PA20, which we can, by the way, see here on the right-hand side. And then we see that Thomas was recognized looking up medical information in the 167. After that, Amanda was recognized. And then the third one, where it says person couldn't be recognized, we see clearly that April was recognized, but she is not authorized for this function. So in this log file, you can clearly see who did what and when within your SAP system. And by the way, at the bottom, just when we logged onto the biolog transaction, you see that Thomas was recognized requesting getting into the biolog, and April was confirmed. So if this would be $1 million wire transfer to a Swiss bank account, both of them would be accountability and would probably get in trouble. And of course, this log file can be exported, it can be emailed to the supervisor, and you can filter it by certain people, or just filter it by certain colors so you can see clearly who got rejected, who was recognized, or who was confirmed.